We've been doing this for 10 or 11 years, and there have only been 2 times where we didn't have a snow day or a delay on the day of Poetry Out Loud. So let us know what day you want off next year. So I am here to introduce our MC today. So let me look at my notes. So I have known today's Masters of Ceremony since we were classmates in high school in Plymouth, New Hampshire in an earlier decade, but then he pointed out it was also in an earlier century and an earlier millennium. Yeah, and it was the best decade ever. So those of you who have me in class know what that is. Jim is a singer and a songwriter, and according to his website, jimterrell.net, he's been working as a musician for over 20 years, and he's released 4 CDs and constantly writes music, and he's often touring as well. He's one of the busiest musicians in the state of New Hampshire. He's always playing. I never get to see him unless I go to see him play, because he's always playing somewhere. So he plays at bars and restaurants, private parties, corporate events, church, right, in Campton, and at home as well. And he also is living the artist's dream because he was able to, a few years ago, literally quit his day job. And he supports himself as a musician, which is pretty cool. He also has 3 sons in Concord School District, including one here at the high school. And so it's really my pleasure to introduce our MC, Jim Terrell.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Recitation and performance are major new trends in poetry. There's been a recent resurgence of poetry as an oral art form, as seen in the slam poetry movement. The program helps students master public speaking skills, build self-confidence, and learn about their literary heritage. From a competitive field of some 2.7 million students nationwide, 1 student will win the title of 2016 Poetry Out Loud National Champion at the National Finals held in Washington, D.C. in April. With this achievement, the lucky student will receive a $20,000 award, and his high school will receive a $500 stipend for the purchase of poetry books. Poetry Out Loud uses a pyramid structure that begins at the classroom level. Winners have advanced to the school-wide competition held today. Our champion will continue on to a regional held at Southern New Hampshire University in Manchester on February 13th, and maybe to the state competitions held on March 10th. The New Hampshire champion then advances to the national finals in April. I'd like to wish good luck to all of our competitors today. And now, if I can, I'd like to introduce our judges. Please welcome Doris Ballard, Director of Concord Television. Danielle Masaryk, slam poet and Concord High School teacher. And Katie Mosher, events and marketing manager at Red River Theaters. All 3 will be judging overall performance today. In addition, Concord High School's own English teachers Kylene Chalaskis and Meredith Vickery who will be serving as our accuracy judge and prompter. Our librarian Helen Dugan will tally scores in an undisclosed location. Ooh. And runners Maddie and Katie will be delivering the judges' scoring sheets to her. I would also like you to please welcome student musician Maddie Simpson, who is not only competing today, but will keep us entertained between recitations. A couple quick thank yous. Thank you to our sponsors, Gibson's Bookstore, the Common Man Restaurants, and Red River Theaters, who have generously donated prizes. And of course, we'd also like to thank the National Endowment of the Arts and the New Hampshire State Council on the Arts for their generous support of the Poetry Out Loud program. And now, some student recitations. with musical interludes in between. Our first recitation is going to be by Sean Cook, reciting the poem Snake Oil, Snake Bite. Sean Cook.
All right, my poem is Snake Oil, Snake Bite by Dilruma Ahmed. They staunched the wound with a stone. They drew blue venom from his blood until there was none. When his veins ran true, his face remained lifeless. All the women in the village wept and pounded their chests until the sky had little choice but to grant their supplications. God made the boy breathe again. God breathes life into us, it is said, only once, but this case was an exception. God drew back in a giant gust and blew life into the boy. And like a stranded fish, he shuddered, oceanless. It was true. The boy lived. He lived for a very long time. The toxins were an oil slick. Contaminated, cleaned. But just as soon as the women kissed redness back into his cheeks, the boy began to die again. He continued to die for the rest of his life. The dying took place slowly, sweetly. The dying took a very long time.
Up next, Alex Poulin will be reciting the poem The Arrow and the Song. Alex?
My poem is The Arrow and the Song by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I shot an arrow into the air. It fell to the earth, I knew not where. For so swiftly it flew, the sight could not follow in its flight. I breathed a song into the air. It fell to the earth, I knew not where. For who has sight so keen and strong that it can follow the flight of song? Long, long afterward, in an oak, I found the arrow still unbroke, and the song from beginning to end in the heart of a friend.
Hold me close, hold me fast. This magic spell you cast, this is love beyond rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see love beyond rose. When you press me to your heart, I'm in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday words seem to turn into love songs. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be love beyond rose.
Next up, please welcome Layla Ruffin, reciting the... Layla will be reciting the poem, The Song of the Feet.
The Song of the Feet by Nikki Giovanni. It is appropriate that I sing the song of the feet. The weight of the body and what the body chooses to bear fall on me. I trampled the American wilderness, forged frontier trails, outran the mob in Tulsa, got caught in Philadelphia, and am still unreparated. I soldiered on in Korea, jungled through Vietnam, sweated out Desert Storm, caved my way through Afghanistan, tunneled the World Trade Center. And on the worst day of my life, walked behind JFK, shouldered MLK, stood embracing Sister Betty. I wiggle my toes in the sands of time, trusting the touch that controls my motion, basking in the warmth of the embrace, day's end offers with warm, salty water. It is appropriate I sing the praise of the feet. I am a Black woman. Thank you.
Up next, a recitation of the poem Burning the Old Year by Maddie Simpson.
Burning the Old Year by Naomi Shihab. Letters swallow themselves in seconds. Notes friends tied to the doorknob, transparent scarlet paper sizzle like moth wings, marry the air. So much of any year is flammable. Lists of vegetables, partial poems, orange swirling flame of days. So much is a stone. Where there was something and suddenly isn't, an absence shouts, celebrates, leaves a space. I begin again with the smallest numbers. Quick dance, shuffle of losses and leaves. Only the things I didn't do crackle after the blazing dies.
I'm thinking it's a sign that the freckles in eyes are mirror images, and when we kiss they're perfectly aligned. And I have to speculate
Next up, Casey Ingraham with a recitation of the poem Cartoon Physics Part 1.
Children under, say, 10 shouldn't know that the universe is ever expanding, inexorably pushing into the vacuum, galaxies swallowed by galaxies, whole solar systems collapsing. All of it acted out in silence. At 10, we are still learning the rules of cartoon animation, that if a man draws a door on a rock, only he can pass through it. Anyone else who tries will crash into the rock. 10-year-olds should stick with burning houses, car wrecks, ships going down, earthbound, tangible disasters. Arenas where they can be heroes. You can run back into a burning house. Sinking ships have lifeboats. The trucks will come with their ladders. If you jump, you will be saved. A child places her hand on the roof of a school bus and drives across a city of sand. She knows the exact spot it will skid, at which point the bridge will give, who will swim to safety, and who will be pulled under by sharks. She will learn that if a man runs off the edge of a cliff, he will not fall until he notices his mistake. Thank you.
Only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, 'cause I can't help falling in love with you.
Up next, please welcome Julia LaJoy with a recitation of the poem The Obligation to Be Happy.
The Obligation to Be Happy by Linda Paston. It is more onerous than the rights of beauty or housework, harder than love. But you expect it of me casually, the way you expect the sun to come up, not in spite of rain or clouds, but because of them. And so I smile, as if my own fidelity to sadness were a hidden vice. That downward tug on my mouth, my old suspicion that health and love are brief irrelevancies, no more than laughter in the warm dark, strangled at dawn. Happiness, I try to hoist it on my narrow shoulders again, a knapsack heavy with gold coins. I stumble around the house, bump into things. Only Midas himself would understand.
Who's shade. Like riding around on rail cars and working long days. Lord, have mercy on my rough and rowdy ways. Lord, have mercy on my rough and rowdy ways. Call it one drink too many, call it pride of a man. 'Cause it don't make no difference if you sit or you stand. 'Cause they both end in trouble and start with a grin. And they both end in trouble and start with a grin. We do it over and over and over again. We do it over and over and over again.
Our next performer is Alana Langlois with the poem Sadie and Maud.
Sadie and Maud by Gwendolyn Brooks. Maud went to college. Sadie stayed home. Sadie scraped life with a fine-toothed comb. She didn't leave a tangle in. Her comb found every strand. Sadie was one of the livingest chits in all the land. Sadie bore 2 babies under her maiden name. Maud and Ma and Papa nearly died of shame. When Sadie said her last so long, her girl struck out from home. She left as heritage her fine-toothed comb. Maud, who went to college, is a thin, brown mouse. She's living all alone in this old house.
I'm 23 now, but I won't be for long. Time hurries on, and the leaves that are green turn to brown, and they wither with the wind, and they crumble in your hand. I threw a pebble in a brook and watched the ripples run away, and they never made a sound, and the leaves that are green turned to brown, and they wither with the wind, and they crumble in your hand. Hello, 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 hello. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. That's all there is, and the leaves that are green turn to brown.
Up next, Shreleka Newley will perform the poem Aria.
Aria by David Barber. What if it were possible to vanquish all this shame with the wash of varnish instead of wishing this thing would vanish? What if you gave it a glossy finish? What if there were a way to burnish all this foolishness, all the anguish? What if you gave yourself leave to ravish all these ravages with famished relish? What if this were your way to flourish? Why so squeamish? Why make a fetish out of everything you must relinquish? Why not embellish what you can't abolish? What would be left if you couldn't brandish all the slavishness you failed to banish? What would you be without this gibberish? What if the true worth of the varnish were to replenish your resolve to vanquish every vain wish before you vanish.
Did you look, did you stop and stare at your brand new hair? Local boy, local news, power line singing blues, firemen in their trucks cut loose a local boy's shoe. Cadillac, Cadillac, businessman dressed in slacks. I'ma buy one for us when I get back, a big Cadillac. You can wave to all of your friends, and I'll never leave you again. Would you ride, would you call back, baby, if I wrote you a song? I've been gone, but you're still my lady, and I need you at home. Love is come, love is go, love is leave me alone. She'll come back to me.
Up next, a recitation of the poem A Song in the Front Yard by Charlie Arrigo.
I'm Charlie Arrigo, and this is A Song in the Front Yard by Gwendolyn Brooks. I've stayed in the front yard my whole life. I want to peek at the back, where it's rough and untended and hungry weeds grow. I'll go get sick of a rose. I want to go in the back now, and maybe down the alley where the charity children play. I want a good time today. They do some wonderful things. They have some wonderful fun. My mother sneers. But I say it's fine how they don't have to go in at 9:15. My mother, she tells me that Johnny May will grow up to be a bad woman, that George will be taken to jail soon or late. On account of last winter, he sold our back gate. But I say it's fine. Honest, I do. And I'd like to be a bad woman too, and wear the brave stockings of night black lace, and strut down the street with paint on my face.
I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dreams. Oh, and they come and stop. Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be all that town man, and I love you when you're singing that song, and I get it off in my throat because you're gonna sing the words wrong.
Our final recitation this morning comes from James Livernois with the poem A Very Large Moth.
A very large moth. Your first thought as the light snaps on and the black wings clutter about the kitchen is a bat. The clear part of your mind considers rabies, but the other part does not consider, knows only to startle and cower away from the slap of its wings, though soon it is clearly not a bat, but a moth, and harmless. Still, you are shy of it. It clings to the hood of your stove, not black, but brown. Its orange eyes sparkle like televisions, and its leg joints are large enough to count. How would you kill it? Where would you hide the body? A creature so solid must have room for a soul. And if this is the case, why not in a creature half its size, or half its size again, and so on, down to the ants? Clearly, it must be spared. Caught up in a shopping bag and rushed to the front door, careful not to crush it, feeling the plastic rustle. Released into the night air, it batters the porch light and sends fitful shadows over the landing. That was a very large moth, is all you can say to the doorman, who has watched your entire performance with a smile. The odd mixture of compassion and terror we feel for the creatures which are We want not to hurt, but prefer not to touch. Thank you.
Wonderful performances by all of our poets. The judges are going to take a few moments here to tally their decision, and we will enjoy a musical interlude by Maddie Simpson.
So if you were at CHS Idol, you heard this one. It's actually an original. It's called Mary May. Tea kettle whistling, hushed murmur sigh. Baby hair's curling, silent night cry. Sweet talk, talk, talk in hurricane blow. Been away so long, baby, won't you come home? Won't you come home to me? I've been so alone. Flowers grow and then wilt, and I'm still on my own. There's a chill in the air, just your voice through the phone. Jesus Christ, Mary May, won't you please come on home? Kick drums, keep kicking, leave skidded down streets. Keep praying to God that your soul I might keep. Dogs stuck in their tail, snow sits on the sill. Sugar out in my teeth and I'm missing you still. Won't you come home to me? I've been so alone. Flowers grow and then wilt, and I'm still on my own. There's a chill in the air, just your voice through the phone. Jesus Christ, Mary May, won't you please come on home? I keep seeing your face round every street sign. My heart stops, I swear, shiver in my spine. And I swear, Mary May, I've never missed you more than last Saturday when you walked through my door. Won't you come home to me? I've been so alone. Flowers grow and then wilt, and I'm still on my own. There's a chill in the air, just your voice through the phone. Jesus Christ, Mary May, won't you please come on? Won't you come home to me? I've been so alone. I've followed you here, but there's nowhere to go. There's a chill in the air, just your voice through the phone. Jesus Christ, Mary May, won't you please come on home? So I can't see anything, but is there time for another one, or are we ready for the judges' decision? I can do another one. Is that pumpkin bread I hear? Okay, yeah, so this one's called Pumpkin Bread. It's another original. There's a place that I'd like to go, where it's warm and the air sits like sweet-colored stones, where I'm no longer scared of the false and unknown. There's a place that I'd like to go, and there's a place that I'd like to be, where it all melts away like the foamy green sea, a place I can feel like I'm free to be me. There's a place that I'd like to be, and this place, it isn't far. I can see it from wherever you are. And this place isn't hard to get to. You'll find me there when I'm with you. And there's a place that I feel at home, like the smell of pumpkin bread fresh out the stove, where the flowers grow tall and the stars start to roam.
There's a place that I feel at home, and there's a place that I'd like to stay, where love settles around me like the showers of May, like a baby's first blanket, all fuzzy and frayed. There's a place that I'd like to stay, and this place, it isn't far. I can see it from wherever you are, and this place isn't hard to get to. You'll find me there when I'm with you. You'll find me there when I'm with you.
All right. Thank you. I think that's good, right? Anybody? Yeah? Okay, thank you.
That was amazing. Maddie Simpson. Wonderful stuff. The votes have been tallied, and I think at this point, let's get our reciters up onto the stage. Come on up, guys. Congratulations again to all of our performers today. Fantastic performances by these guys. And now, the runner-up and alternate in this year's Poetry Out Loud competition here at Concord High School, Casey Ingraham. Wonderful job.
Thank you.
And this year's champion of the Poetry Out Loud competition, Layla Ruffin. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks to our judges, Doris Ballard, Jim Gocha, Katie Mosher, and Concord High School's own Kylene Chalaskis and Meredith Vickery. Also thanks to the help from Helen Dugan, Tony Varga, and turn the page, Angel Douglas, and to our student lighting crew, Tyler and Alex, to our musician, Maddie, the runners, Maddie and Casey. Thank you to Gibson's Bookstore, to the Common Man, Red River Theaters for their generous donations of prizes for our winner and runner-up and participants. Please visit Red River Theaters for some upcoming events, including holiday treats, the Polar Express to be shown on the 18th at 1, Scrooge playing on December 24th at 2. Be sure to check their website for their current film lineup. And stop by Gibson's Bookstore on the third Wednesday of each month for the Poetry Society of New Hampshire's monthly poetry readings, which feature a selected New Hampshire poet followed by an open mic. Also be sure to check out Vermont's Poet Laureate Chad Denord and novelist Robin MacArthur on Friday, January 6th at 5:30. The next step for Layla, our champion, will be the regional championship to be held at Southern New Hampshire University on February 13th. Let's wish Layla good luck. Any interested students are also invited to attend the Poetry Out Loud Student Clinic to be held on Saturday, January 7th in Manchester. Thank you very much for being here.